nurses that we need. There is no nursing shortage.
We'll see how long this video gets kept up. I doubt long, because it's from it's a stitch of National Nurses United. You know, I've made very clear what I think of the unions in nursing anyway, because they're tied to American Nurses Association, which is no good. But I will say this, National Nurses United has not blocked me, and I've said the same things on their Twitter account as I have to American Nurses Association. American Nurses Association blocked me. I'm a nurse, okay, registered nurse. Now, National Nurses United, I agree with them on this, okay? They are pushing back. They are at least admitting there is not a nursing shortage. They seem to have changed, okay? Because believe me, 2-4 years ago, they weren't saying that about AI. They weren't saying that about a nursing shortage. They were in lockstep with the American Nurses Association. I still don't trust any of the nursing unions. They're still tied to Bernie, and Bernie is not the answer to health care. And I really don't trust National Nurses United, because they supported open borders, as I've said, okay? No nurse in the country should support Bernie Sanders or open borders or the left, because they are out of their minds. They literally are. So the only issue I have, because I do agree with the National Nurses United, there is not a nursing shortage. The AI thing is out of control. It needs to be stopped, okay? But they also need to come out against gender-affirming care on youth, because you put on your Twitter page, National Nurses United, an actual video supporting youth gender-affirming care. Do you mean to tell me no nurse in your union remembers learning about the frontal lobe and how the frontal lobe is not formed until at least the early 20s? It is why we do not let people drink till they're 21. It is why you can't drive at 5 or 10, because you're learning your impulse control that's housed in the frontal lobe is not formed. The frontal lobe is not fully formed till the early 20s. So I think that to be truly an example of good nurses, the nursing profession needs, the people in it need to push back against gender-affirming care on youth. Because when the fallout comes out of all the children that have been harmed because of something American Nurses Association, Bernie, all of the left, HHS, CDC, all supported, it will be massive. And people will be looking for the people that didn't support it, that actually stood by the science and said, no, we should not be doing this. So that's all I have to say. I doubt this video will stay up very long, because, well, I'm the only nurse in the country that seems to push back against all of it. And not because I want to be somebody who doesn't get along. It's just, if you're going to get out there and you're going to carry about nursing ratios, yeah, they suck. They've sucked for years. I don't think unions are really helping with that, because look at California. Now you have hospitals that aren't even honoring those nursing ratios. Did you really think they ever were going to? American Nurses Association has been working with those CEOs. They have been the whole time. They've been helping to push nurses out. They've been saying that they're helping and support your back while you work in toxic and dangerous environments, and they do not care. And believe me, you can't trust any of these people. You really just can't. Okay? And, you know, Bonnie Costello, who heads up National Nurses United, you know, tell me how she went from being a nurse to being in the millions of dollars. Just saying. And if you're going to have lobbyists go and lobby for nurses, yeah, you might want to start pushing on your union and American Nurses Association, who sets the standard of care, and that organization needs to be dismantled. If it's the last thing I do before I die, I will raise hell for that organization to be dismantled. I do know this, most nurses do not support American Nurses Association, because they saw in 2020 how they were a disgrace to them. They didn't support them. So, if nursing really wants to have the support they need, it's not going to come from the left. It's not. The left supports the drag time story hour in the classroom. Totally unethical in every way. The left supports transgender youth care and cutting off genitals of children. So nurses should really, before you start yelling and screaming about nurse ratios and about AI, and I totally stand with you on those things, and I'm not in any union, but I won't be in any. I already have my experience with unions. But is you should start talking about patient care. Be an example of real nurses where you make the priority saving children from this disaster of gender affirming care on youth. The fallout of that, I think, will end up being which nurses stood for prioritizing what the most important things are. And the most important thing that any nurse in this country should be standing up against is gender affirming care in youth.